So I'm going to say I'm Andy Adams with Boating Industry Canada magazine, and tell me who you are and what we're looking at.
I'm Mike Reichman with Kenyon International. Andy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And this is the Kenyon induction stove called Silken. And Silken stands for Silicone Kenyon. It's a patented product, and there's nothing else like it in the world. We won the Innovation Award here last year, and we won the Metz Award, the Dame Award, also for product innovation. It's unique in several ways. Induction, of course, is catching on like crazy. Almost everybody's switching to it. Europe is 70% induction, Asia is 90% induction, and in the United States here, it's the fastest growing segment of the appliance industry. We're about 10% and growing like crazy. And the reason, of course, is that it's 90% efficient. Gas stoves are 40% efficient, radiant elements are 60% efficient. When you get down to induction, it's 90. So it cooks in half the time, which means you draw half the power. So it's very, very efficient. And it does it without any heat. The pot essentially creates its own heat. And but you still have the same problems you have with traditional stoves, where when the pot boils over, it still makes a big mess. If you fry bacon or you do fried chicken, the grease gets all over everything, so it's always an issue. You've got to clean up the stove and scrub it down, and you've also got spill retention, and you've got pot retention as well, because the boating industry requires pot retention. IBEX requires that the pot be stable in up to 35 degrees. So how do you solve all that? We invented a product called Silken. There's actually two patents. This is a partial mat, and you'll see that this is high-temp silicone, and then this is the first patent, and the second patent is this retention ring down here. So that locks the mat in place so the mat can't go anywhere. But what this does is it's got spill retention here, so that if the pot were to boil over here, everything would stay on the mat. When you're done cooking, you simply throw the mat in the sink or the dishwasher and you're done. And as far as pot retention, I'll see if I can lift this up for you, Andy. You'll see that the pot will go nowhere. Absolutely stable no matter what happens. So you don't need rails, you don't need to countersink the stove, you don't need anything that's cumbersome that would impede the countertop. So it's just great. So we also, let's say you finish cooking and you're making some soup and everything's just fine. In the morning, you decide to go ahead and you're going to fry some bacon. I'm going to ask you to move your camera for a minute, Andy. Only because I want to show you this. Take this mat off, and we'll do some fried chicken. So you know what a mess that can make when it just spatters grease. Now you got a full coverage mat here. So it can spatter all it's want. When you're done, if you spill something on the mat, you set your spatula down, your spoon down. Nothing's going to touch the stovetop. Nothing's going to transfer heat. This stays absolutely stone cold. And when you're done, you simply roll this up, throw it in the dishwasher, and you're ready to start. Put the partial mat down. So we have, this is a partial mat, this yellow one's a full mat, and then we have individual mats. I'll show you what that looks like too. That's an individual mat. This locks in place. And the same thing, spill retention, pot retention. It reduces the heat. Even when the pot pushes heat down into the glass, which is common for induction, this will isolate and insulate the glass. Also, you can use it as a trivet. So when you take the pot off and it's hot, what do you do with this pot? You simply put this down on the countertop, put the pot on top of it. So it really solves all the issues you would normally have with any cooktop, but especially with induction.
Well, brilliant. Will it work with the same kind of electrical system that...
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It doesn't draw more amps?
Draws less, because overall it draws the same as you would expect based on the wattage of the elements, but it takes half the time to cook. So overall you're going to use half the power.
Very interesting. And do you need special cookware or anything for it?
You used to, but now, since the rest of the world has gone induction, even the inexpensive stuff that you might find at discount stores all are induction ready, because they're all made offshore, and they have to work with induction products. So virtually everything you buy is going to be induction ready.
Is it more expensive than the conventional types?
No, because even the inexpensive stuff, all they have to do is sandwich it with a piece of steel, and which is what they're doing. Even the inexpensive aluminum stuff, they'll sandwich a piece of steel in there, and then it's induction ready. So it's pretty amazing.
Now, in terms of a conventional Kenyon cooktop, is the Silken better, or more expensive?
It is more expensive. It's about 40% more expensive, but then you get a lot more with it too. You get faster cooking, more efficient cooking, no heat, spill resistance, cleanup is not an issue. Lots of benefits to induction once you have the Silken product incorporated.
Well, very cool. Well, we hope to see those on board lots of the boats that we test in the near future.
You will. You'll start seeing them this year. A lot of production boats are going to it.
Fantastic. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Ed.